What's going on, Thunder fans? Welcome back to the Bring the Thunder podcast for episode 26. I can't believe it's already been 26 episodes of this show. Tonight we have a very special guest, Caden at OKC Access on Instagram. Guys, go check him out. He's one of the bigger OKC pages on Instagram. Caden, if you just want to introduce yourself really quick before we start the show.
Yeah, well, like you said, my name is Caden. I'm based out of Oklahoma City, and I started OKC Access back in May of 2019. It's a very good community that we have, and love the fan base, love the team, and very stoked to do it every day and blessed to do it every day as well.
Awesome. So pretty much like what we do in our episodes here is what we're just going to get straight into our first topic, which is we've been kind of focusing on SGA for the past week individually. Now I kind of want to compare him to the top other superstars that have been absolutely balling out to start the year. Them being obviously Jokic, Luka Dončić, and Giannis, who just went down with his injury. But Shai's averaging 32 points this year, off to a great start, barely playing in any fourth quarters. How do you compare him, or where do you rank him, Caden, to the other guys like Luka, Giannis, and Jokic?
Well, completely unbiased, I really do rank him above those guys. Number one, obviously, generational scorer. He's a guy that really we haven't seen an archetype like this quite since Kobe, and really he's his own archetype. The thing that I love the most about SGA and what he is for this team is the kind of leader that he is, because you'll see some of these other guys have lapses in leadership moments and times where they could step up and really be that teammate that they need. And he kind of just makes everyone around him better, and everybody loves him, and he's kind of more of a silent killer. And I think that the MVP last year was deserved, and assuming he plays the 65 games this year, I think it'd be deserved as well.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I'm going to swing it over to Jack. Obviously, Caden has him ranked one, and we are being non-biased here. I promise you. Jack, your thoughts on this ranking system here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to choose Shai, but if you watch the games, you know he's the best. Like, he doesn't play fourth quarters. We see him do it every night. Like, he's just, like he says, he's consistent. But the thing, like Caden just touched up on, is the team culture he's implemented has been so monumental for the success. Like, every night, the togetherness, the defense first. You don't see Luka or Jokic leading the way and like on defense and trying 100% of the time like you do with Shai. Giannis you do, but it's a bit different. But Shai's just miles ahead of Luka. I don't know why people are putting him back in the conversation again. And he's winning basketball. Like, Luka, I said it the other week when we played the Lakers, but he's never going to win a championship with the Lakers with this roster. Shai, he sets the tone, and we can see it through 1 to 15. All 15 guys are playing two sides of the ball because of him.
Right. Satvir.
You're muted.
Satvir, you're muted right now.
I got you. So for Shai, the three things that I'm going to look at is he's the best two-way superstar that we have out of the group. He's the best closer out of the group, if I had to choose anyone. And his game, I think, there's no debate about this, translates the best when it comes to the playoffs. And I think those are the three categories when you're, debating between these four guys, in whatever order. Shai's leading the pack in those three categories. So that's where I think he's no longer just arguably the number one player in the league. I just think he's just outright the number one player. It's just everyone else is just a little too slow to, catch up to that point.
Yeah, for me, it's funny. I actually got into a huge argument last night. Well, more of a debate with a couple of my buddies. We were actually doing the Shai Jokic thing, which I absolutely hate, because once somebody says Jokic in their mind, they stick to it no matter what. They don't hear you out. They don't do nothing. OKC is one of the most hated teams in the league, which is unbelievable because one of the smaller markets in the league. And I guess once you start having this much success, the hate comes. For me, I'm going to go with SGA, and I agree with all the things that you guys have said, so I'm not really going to repeat everything you've said. But for me, it's just, listen, MVP, conference finals MVP, scoring title. Jack mentioned it rubs off on everyone on his team to play two sides of the ball. And, yeah, I think Jokic is clearly two for me, and then Giannis and then Luka. I think, Jack, again, with Luka, I think he's being thrown up in there. He's having, an incredible start to the season offensively. But then he goes into OKC and gets smothered by 3 different defenders, and he doesn't look too great, and they get blown out by 20 plus, right? So he has good games, and then he has bad games against better teams. I also think him being in LA puts his name out there a little bit more than it was in Dallas. But Caden, I'm going to come back to you. Do your best here. I know it's hard to rank these guys, but why don't you rank 1 to 4, Shai, Luka, Jokic, and Giannis?
I would honestly, I have Shai 1. And while I am not a huge fan of Jokic's game, I think that he's a very close second to SGA. He's been to the summit. He's won the title, taken his team all the way to the top. And their team is still consistently good, even if they don't have the depth that they necessarily need to make it far. Kind of like we saw last year. I mean, it was just the 6-man rotation, essentially. I would say Jokic is probably a close second, and then I'd put Giannis third, and then Luka fourth, and those guys are pretty close together as well.
Yeah, I think I absolutely agree with the same exact list. I think you got to put Luka last. He hasn't won a title yet. Everyone else in that discussion is a Finals MVP. Jack, I guess you could rank, and then Satvir right after, and then we'll move on to our next topic here.
Yeah, I've got the same ranking: Shai, Jokic, Giannis, Luka. But I wanted to state that it's Shai, Jokic, Giannis, and then Luka. Like there is a fall off. It's a three-man race for the MVP, and I don't see Luka winning it. So as much as I like Luka and his game, this is just me being like honest about it. But, yeah, same ranking.
The one thing I'll add to this, because I think we all agree on the ranking and kind of the structure of it, there's other guys starting to creep up on Luka Dončić, like a Cade Cunningham coming into the league. Donovan Mitchell is like inserting himself as a guard. So I think the lack of work that Luka put in across his several seasons in the NBA is starting to finally catch up to him, especially on the defensive end. He's starting to put in the work now, but it's hard to reteach yourself habits. And I think that's his weakest point, was he didn't build the right habits. And that's something that I spoke about when I talked about Shai many years ago. When I was evaluating them, I was like, he's in the lab every single time, every single summer. You guys see my content, and it's always around the fact that Shai is in the lab every single summer. And that's what's differentiating him, Giannis, and everyone, talks about Jokic not putting in the work, but he clearly does. He clearly loves basketball. So, that's kind of my 2 cents for what's going on right now.
It's kind of funny you bring that up, because in the debate I was having last night, one of these kids literally with a straight face told me, well, Jokic doesn't even try. Are you sure about that? Like, are you sure about that? And he follows up, and he's like, he doesn't even put in as much work as Shai does in the offseason. I'm like, well, whose fault is that? Are you going to blame Shai for what Jokic has? Come on now. I mean, they're just trying to pick things up as they go to help their argument. But I think, listen, I'll be as honest as anybody. Caden, we do post-game lives after every game. And during the playoffs last year, early, when we were struggling, we had that game 3 against Memphis. We ended up coming back and winning. And then we had a poor game 4, even though we won that game. And then the start of the Denver series was a little rocky. Satvir and I was questioning if Shai was the closer for this team. I really was. Like, we're fully honest on this show. And then obviously throughout the rest of the playoffs, he shut me the hell up. But I just want to put that out there. Like, we're all ranking Shai for a reason. We're not just here saying, oh, well, we're Thunder guys, we're going to be homers. Like, he's got to be one. So I just want to put that out there. Moving on. I want to call this topic Robin's Robin. Because the question is, Caden, there's Chet, there's J-Dub, and there's Shai, obviously. The question is, who is the Thunder's third most important player? Could be, J-Dub, Chet, Alex Caruso, could be anybody. Who do you think is the third most important player for this roster this year?
It all kind of hinges on, number one, being healthy, which to this point in the season we haven't been. I think that will start to pick up. It seems like a few little ticky tack kind of injuries, but really any given night, the third most important player can show up and show out. Like we see some nights where yes, the big three does absolutely obliterate whoever's on the other side and puts up a combined 85 points together, and then you'll see Aaron Wiggins put up 41 against the Kings. And it just kind of changes, and I think that's the beauty of having such a deep roster and such a well constructed roster, that everybody just kind of works together so well that it would be hard to really put a name down. Big three is kind of a cop out answer, but if I really had to say a third most important player consistently every single night, I think what Isaiah Hartenstein does for this team is just so massive. He gets on the glass, he play makes, he's good at getting to the nail and then finding the guys out on the wings, on the corners, and just being taller than everybody kind of allows him to be able to be that connective passer that we have always kind of looked for. I know they looked to make Adams that at one point back in the day, and Jay Will does that to an extent, but Hartenstein is just so elite in so many different traits, and obviously the floater is just a thing of beauty. So I would say that he's probably the most consistent, third most important player to this team.
I like that pick for sure. Jack, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess like Caden said, any given night it can be any different person because of our depth. But if I have to rank it, then it's Shai, and then J-Dub is our second option, and Chet is our third. Because even when he's having poor offensive games, his defense is always there, and he just anchors his team in the paint. Like we saw it, especially in the finals. He wasn't that efficient, but so neither was Mars Turner because he was matched up against Chet, and like his defense is just so valuable that even he's the third most important player regardless of his offense. And we had this discussion about Lou Dort the other night about how no matter what he does on the offensive end, we'll always need him on defense. And I feel like we can always rely on Chet no matter what. So give me him as the third most.
All right. I prepared this one. So I have to go with first I'm going to lay out the case for each of these guys. The case for J-Dub, he's going to be a 20+ point per game scorer. He's probably the second best shot creator on the team, one of the more versatile scorers on the team. He can take a lot of pressure off of Shai, and he's obviously an all-star. He's got clutch shot making. So without J-Dub, we usually hinder in the half court. So we have those scoring droughts. At times you'll probably see it. It's a lot less now with AJ in the group, but that's kind of his case for J-Dub, my case for J-Dub. And then the case for Chet is probably the best one that I can make is he's the defensive anchor. He's a DPOY candidate. He shoots a high percentage from three. He has that elite floor spacing for Shai. I feel like he's just a bigger version of J-Dub. The more I think about it, it's like you get all the benefits of J-Dub just at a taller height and a better rim protection. And then I think he's just the most irreplaceable defender on the roster when it comes to the backcourt. We see that like it's not the same defense when he's not there. So I feel like we become an average defense from a rim protection standpoint. And then the case for the other guy that I'll make, and the third guy, I guess, on this is, well, Shai is obviously number one. He's elite scorer. So, we already kind of know the package that he brings. But if I had to do a ranking on this, I'm going to go with Shai, Chet, and then J-Dub as our third guy that's consistent every night for us if I had to choose.
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of it for me is obviously we know Shai's the guy, but anyone else could be the second option on any given night. Like even J-Dub was the first option when he dropped 40 points in an NBA Finals game against the Indiana Pacers. So, I mean, one day it could be Chet, one day it could be J-Dub, the next day it could be Kaysen, Caruso, Hartenstein. It could be anybody. I think that's the beauty in this team is they don't care who's going to be the guy on it every single night. Like whoever's the hot hand, they're going to feed. If whoever has a mismatch, they're going to feed. So for me, I don't really even think there is a quote-unquote third option. I think as of right now throughout the season, I like Caden's choice with Hartenstein in the beginning of this year. I think he's been running the offense super well. It was something we've talked about since he's joined the team. But you could also talk about even Lou Dort in a big playoff game where he hits 900 threes in one quarter to beat the Denver Nuggets. You know what I'm saying? So any player on any given night could be the third option on this team, heck, even the first option, and that's why they are champions, and that's why they're looking like a heavy favorite to repeat.
Joe, I gotta push you for an answer. You gotta rank them, man. We can't.
I knew you were gonna. For me, it's Shai, J-Dub, Chet. I think it's easy for me, but
okay,
yeah. If I had to rank them, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
if I had to rank them, I'd probably say Shai, J-Dub, Chet as well. But Chet and J-Dub are so interchangeable. I mean, and Chet's impact defensively is, like Jack said, so consistent every single night. I mean, he is just a force to be reckoned with on the interior for this front court. So that's probably my ranking as well.
I want to interject before we change topics. So I'm outvoted right now. It seems like 3-1. So I do want to bring up a good case for Chet, just in case maybe I can get you guys to swing to this side, or at least think about swinging over to Chet's side as the second option. The reason I mention it, maybe not just for present case, but I think for longevity, I think Chet's gonna, I guess, he puts in a lot of work in the gym. And then I think mentioning that point, I think his offensive leap is still yet to be seen. So him having one of the highest defensive floors, I think that's where I look at both those guys and I'm thinking, all right, this 7-foot guy, he's showing me flashes of honestly greatness, especially this season with the dunking and his interior force. And then he's already spacing the floor. Once his ball handling gets there to the level that we need it to get to, I think he's going to be cementing himself as that second guy. So that's just my opinion.
No, I could definitely agree with that. The ball handling is coming along. He hit DeRozan with a tween to the rim and then dunked on Jokic last night. That was great. You're right. The offensive leap has just begun. It's nowhere near to where the level is gonna be. I think Shai even said that the other night. Like, they know what Chet is, and they know what he's gonna be. It's not even close to a complete product. Which, I mean, I'm sure. Okay, Presti knew that. Chet was really raw coming into the draft. He's improved every year. He won a championship. He's got the most blocks in a Game 7 in the finals ever. But there's still room to improve, and that's what's so dangerous. I was going to say the last thing for me is, listen, J-Dub got a little bit more money for a reason, and it's just the level of consistency and availability is probably the reason why he did get paid a little bit more. But I don't want to choose between either one of these guys.
They got paid the same amount. He just got a little bit more because of the All-Star and his availability in that sense. But if Chet was available for the season, he's clearly going to be an All-Star this season, or he should be. So I feel like from that sense, they're right neck and neck. It's just kind of who do you prefer? What play style do you prefer, I guess, between the guys?
Yeah, before we move on to the next topic really quick, you kind of already answered my question. I want to go across the panel with a yes or no answer, nothing more, nothing less. Just yes or no. And we'll start with Cade and we'll go to Jack. And obviously, Satvir already answered. Is Chet Holmgren ending up being an all-star starter this year? Not an all-star, an all-star starter.
Starter. Do you know the format? I'm sorry, I know it's supposed to be yes or no, but is it three teams?
I believe they're doing World versus US this year, aren't they?
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, well then in that case, I'd say yes. Yeah, if he's on the US team.
Jack.
Don't hate me, but I'm gonna say no. I have reasoning, but I guess yeah.
What?
He's gonna make it, but I don't think he'll start.
I'm so confused. No. I can't think of. I can't. It's an easy yes, but I still can't believe Jack's saying no because I can't think of another American-born center off the top of my brain better than Chet Holmgren in general.
Actually,
just
Andre Drummond.
It'll be a tournament again though, so let me switch my answer to yes.
Yeah.
The format's really weird. So
the format sucks. Okay. It's terrible in my opinion. But I'm gonna finish that up with yes. I think the season is now. He would have been an all-star last year, and he's gonna be a star this year. All right, let's move on. Actually, it's funny we ended up talking about Chet because major news, Victor Wembanyama goes down with a calf strain, be out 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even more. Very unfortunate. But with that being said, Chet now moves to the odds-on favorite to win DPOY by a wide margin. He's at plus 140. The next guy down the list is obviously Wemby at plus 320. And then you got guys like Evan Mobley, Amin Thompson, and Dyson Daniels to follow up. The question to the panel, and I'll start with Caden, of course, is he, in your opinion, the odds-on favorite to win DPOY? And then who's another couple guys that you would keep your eye out for the rest of the year?
Well, a couple guys I'd keep my eye on are probably just the rest of the Oklahoma City Thunder roster, to be honest with you. I think that at this point, and first of all, Wemby is absolutely generational as a defender. I think he is such a good player. And I know that there's, all this beef between us and Spurs fans, and I personally hate the Spurs, but I can't stop watching Wemby because I think that he really is that guy. But if he doesn't meet the game's criteria, then I think that Chet should be the leader. Mobley is also a guy that stays with it every single night. And then I honestly think that if Lou Dort can remain healthy and get rid of his shoulder bugs and injuries and things like that, he's been absolutely locking down the top guy every single night. You look at in the last, I think I saw this today, it was in the last 14 games, the Thunder haven't allowed anybody over 30 points. And that's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous stat, and that's primed, and that's at the forefront of that is Lou Dort, I think. So I would definitely be on the lookout for him, especially if Chet does go down with another, anomaly type injury.
Yeah. And here we go. I've just pulled up the list. So like I mentioned, Chet plus 140, huge odds. You do have Lou Dort up there. You do have Casey Wallace up there. You even have Hartenstein up there. So like you mentioned, it could be anybody from the Oklahoma City roster. Before I move on to Jack, I want to ask Caden again. I guess it goes hand in hand. How many players do you think can make an all defensive team from OKC this year before to say that's too many?
Well, I think now that we've, won the title and put the league on notice, there's 2 all-defensive teams, so that means there's 10 guys that can make it. Last year we saw Dort and J-Dub make it, and I don't think Chet did. Yeah, Chet didn't because he didn't meet the game's criteria. But I honestly, truly think that out of the guys that we have, Chet for sure. I think Dort can make it. I think Kaysen can make it. Caruso can make it. I don't know that J-Dub will meet the 65. But out of our group, I would say for sure Chet, Kaysen, and Dort out of the 3. I don't think Caruso plays enough in the regular season to get the award.
Yeah, that's true. Jack, I'll swing it to you.
Yeah, I think Chet will win it. Unfortunately, Wemby is just dealing with a couple bugs. I mean, last season he shouldn't have been out, but I guess it's the trade-off for being 7'8" and shooting threes. So, he's going to win them for like the next 10 years straight anyway. So it'll be good to get Chet one this year. Mm-hmm. But if Wemby is healthy or plays the criteria, I think it'll easily be him. And if not, I think Chet, it'll easily be him. So I don't see Evan Mobley winning another one. I think they kind of panicked last year and were like, "Oh, Wemby's out. Who do we give it to?"
Right.
So yeah, I think Chet should win it this year as long as Wemby doesn't meet the criteria. But it's a 2-man race, really.
Satvir?
Yeah. I just think it's going to be a little too close for Wemby in terms of how long he's going to be out. So I think he's just going to miss it by a little bit. And then between Chet and Evan Mobley, Chet being kind of a first-time DPOY winner would make a lot of sense. I think I've probably been his biggest fan when it comes to the Wemby versus Chet talks. If you guys see my comments anywhere, I'm always kind of roasting Wemby because he kind of gives me the same vibe as, I don't know, the same conversation as like a Luka versus SGA. And I see, I will give Wemby the credit. He puts in a lot of work in the off season, but I think he doesn't have that consistent shooting on the offensive end. And I know it's not just about offense when we're talking about the DPOY player, but that's one thing that I look at when comparing these 2 guys. But just from a defensive standpoint, for a guy leading his team, obviously we can't say the same about Chet because he hasn't had the opportunity. But for the hype that Wemby gets, his team doesn't do the most amount of winning. And I know this season they started off pretty well, and it's kind of simmered down as he got that injury. But I do want to see more sustained winning just for Wemby's sake. Their team continues to improve around him. And I don't know if his play style or his defensive impact is kind of on the same ranking as Chet is. I think his defensive rating from last season for Chet was 103.1. He's a league leading rim block percentage. I think that's what I'm talking about when it comes to impact. He's in the 98th percentile defensively. So I think he should easily win this award as long as he stands the test of durability. The other person I wanted to mention for the players that could be in the defensive teams, I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a lock to win that because he's always been one of the stocks leaders, so steals plus blocks. So him and Chet are usually top 15 in those rankings. So Shai's one of the most durable players. So I know for a fact he'll make a defensive team, maybe not first team. So
yeah, for me, I believe Chet should win it. I don't think that Wemby will end up meeting the criteria, even if he is to come back from this calf strain. We've seen what calf strains have done to people in the past, and I'm not wishing that on anybody. I hope they kind of sit him for an extended period of time just for his safety, because we saw what happened to Halliburton, what happened to Damian Lillard last year in the playoffs. So with that being said, Chet is definitely the clear favorite to me. Now, if Chet doesn't meet the criteria because he's been sitting back-to-back, and if he picks up a little injury throughout the year, I can see Amin Thompson winning this. I really can. He's been really good for Houston. He's probably one of the better guard/forward defenders in the league. He made Donovan Mitchell miserable last night in Cleveland. I think he's a fantastic defender. But other than those two guys, I really think it goes to Chet if he meets the criteria for me. All right, Jack, to finish up here, we have a pretty cool segment. You want to introduce our last segment of the night?
Yeah, I got it. So we're going to do a snake draft, drafting international OKC Thunder players. We're going to draft a 3-on-3 team with one sub. Yeah, so I guess draft order will be Satvir, Caden, Joe, and then myself. And then we'll loop back around until we have 4 players each. So if you want to take it away, Satvir. But yeah, I guess you're muted.
Yeah, I'll take it away. I'll go with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for my first pick. I feel like if I fumbled that, I'd get destroyed in the comments.
For sure.
Is this all time or is this current?
All time.
All time. Okay. Man, I'm trying to think, and I could just be totally blanking on, our second best international prospect or
I'm sure
player.
We're all gonna miss a few.
Yeah, that's all right. Man. Is it okay? Question real quick. Is it their time with the Thunder or is it just their time in the league?
Good question. Let's say time with the Thunder.
Time with the Thunder.
I was gonna say Victor Oladipo.
No, Oladipo's a good choice. That could easily be one of the top ones. We were talking about international guys the other night, and we didn't even pull his name out. So I like that pick.
Yeah. I think that's the one I'm gonna roll with. And he was really good in his year here.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's a sweet pick actually. For me, I'm gonna start with Serge Ibaka. I gotta get interior defense down first, with Shai being off. So, and Oladipo, probably the 2 better guards in this draft. So I'm gonna start with Serge.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Giddey, and then I'm gonna go with Steven Adams. I think it would be blasphemous if I didn't take Steven Adams.
Yeah, and I'm kind of glad you did take Adams because I'm going to stay down low in the paint. We're going to build inside out. Give me Enes Kanter, one of my favorite Oklahoma City players all time. Enes Kanter and Serge Ibaka reunited.
So I have some really bad news. Victor Oladipo was born in Silver Spring, Maryland.
Oh.
So he is maybe not international. So I don't know if I can keep the pick or not, but Lou Dort. Yep. Okay. That'll work.
Yeah.
Lou Dort is going to be my second pick. So got the nice little backcourt there.
It's a good pick. Yeah.
Good pick.
Oh my goodness. I'm already up, and you guys have taken a lot of the guys that I thought of or wanted. Lou Dort would have been perfect next to Shai. That's such a championship winning core right there. I think I'm going to go with the next best thing to Lou Dort and Thabo Sefolosha, lockdown defender. So I'll go with him.
That's a good pick.
And
I want
your third.
Awesome. You have to choose two. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other person that I'm going to take here is, I still want, do I want spacing or do I want,
You only get 4 players, so 3-on-3 basketball. Might need some spacing for that.
That is true. And I need a big man at some point because Lord knows Joe's stacking up on him.
Yeah.
Gosh. I'm going with Dennis Schroeder. He's just one of the best international ball players. And I was debating between him and another guy for the floor spacing. I know Joe knows who I'm talking about. So yeah, those are the two guys I'm going to take.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but go ahead, Caden. Oh, wait.
Have we picked Steven Adams yet?
Yes.
Yeah, I took him.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to think. I'm desperation going on Google trying to find all of our international players, and it's only giving me American-born ones, so that's not very helpful. Shoot.
There's a couple on the team currently.
Yeah, you can take a couple from the team.
That's true. Man, Ousmane Dieng is really tempting. I'm not gonna lie. Shoot, let me think about this. So I have Oladipo, I got Lou Dort, and I probably need some sort of big. And so I would honestly just say Isaiah Hartenstein would be the best slot in there for sure.
Yep.
Definitely a great pick there. All right, yeah. So now I'm in a predicament because I was going to stay big and go with Hartenstein, and then if not, I was going to go with Schroeder. But I think we do have a guy currently on the roster that's just a little bit better than Dennis Schroeder, or will be eventually if he's not already. And I need a ball handler, so give me AJ Mitchell, the Belgium mate.
Joe, you missed out on a player. I'm telling you.
Did I? I think I know who you're talking about, but I wanted AJ.
Okay.
That's fair. AJ was my next pick, so you've messed up my draft strategy now. I'm gonna go Al Horford. I think he's got some Dominican descent, and then I'm gonna go with either Alex Abrinas or Danilo Gallinari. But I'm gonna go Abrinas. I feel like I'm missing someone here because of the way Zep is acting, but
no, that
Abrinas
was it.
off the
That
bench.
was the name. That was the name.
Yeah, right.
I think Abrinas fits 3-on-3 basketball quite well. So
yeah, that's fair. So we got one player off the bench now?
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna take Gallinari. That's
solid.
That'll be my pick.
All right, that'll work. Well, since it's a guy coming off the bench, and hopefully he can get his current situation figured out, and all prayers up to him. But I'm very intrigued at the prospect of Nikola Jokić, so that is going to be my bench guy.
Love that.
Good pick.
All right, I have to take the GOAT. I got to take him.
I think I know where this is going.
Yeah, I got to take Poku here, man. I need a big. I need someone coming off the bench with the floor spacing, and he's been crushing it in international ball, so I'm going to take him.
Fair enough.
All right. Is that gonna wrap it up here?
Yeah,
Yep.
that'll wrap us up. We will do a mini tournament between us on our Instagram story, so keep an eye out for that. We'll go head to head with a poll, so you guys can vote for the best team, and we'll see who did the best job.
Yeah, I just want to go over the teams really quick, and before we put them out, Satvir, who's your 4?
I've got Shai, Dennis Schroeder, Tabo Cephalosha, and Pokusevski.
Yeah, we might get cooked. I'm not gonna lie, Caden.
I've got the American-born Oladipo. I have Isaiah Hartenstein, and I honestly can't remember who my second-round pick was.
Dort?
Yeah, it was Lou Dort. Lou Dort. That's right. And then I got the GOAT Topic coming off the bench.
That's also a really good team. What did I went with Cantor, Serge, AJ Mitchell, and Danilo. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll get many votes for that team, but I like that team for sure. And then Jack.
Giddey, Steven Adams, Al Horford, Alex Abrines.
So he's got a mix of shooting. He's got a stretch big and Horford too. He's got a good shooting lineup over there. All right. So we'll post these after. Yeah, we'll post them tomorrow, whatnot. But I guess that's gonna do it. First off, I want to thank Caden, OKC Access, everybody for coming on to the show. It was honestly our pleasure. It was a great time. So I want to give them a nice round of applause. Act like the comment section is there, even though we aren't live right now, but definitely seeing this tomorrow. But for real, man, we really appreciate you coming on. And to all of our subscribers, fans, whatever you want to call it, to all Oklahoma City Thunder fans, really quick, I just want to share that these are the golden days. So stay present. These are going to be the times that we look back on. So stay present, root for this team, root for this city. And we're going to go back-to-back this year. I have a really strong feeling about it. Other than that, if you guys are enjoying the content, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Come join our members. We have our premium memberships on the channel. You can go check that out on our YouTube. We already have a nice community growing, and there's so many perks that come along. So go check out that on the channel. And you guys will see this episode Friday at 3 p.m. Central, like every week. That's our episodes. And if anyone else has some other last words, you can shout it out now. If not, we're going to end this up.
Man, it was really fun to hop on with you guys. I think you guys are doing a great job, and I had a good time just talking about the best basketball team in the whole world. So thanks for having me on.
Oh, yeah, man. Everyone go follow at OKC Access on IG. And Thunder up, baby. Let's go. We'll see you next time.